Welcome to Chop It Like It's Hot. I'm your host, Markie McRae, and today we're doing a Christmas-themed holiday lunch. We're gonna get started with some peppermint bar. So, right here we have our dark chocolate, our Ghirardelli white chocolate, and some peppermints that we're gonna crush up. So we're gonna start with a parchment-lined dish. We're gonna take our chocolates and we're gonna melt them. Normally, I would take these and put them over the stove, but we don't have a double boiler, so we're just gonna melt it in the oven or in the microwave. So I put it in there for about 1 minute, and I'm just gonna come back and check on it. Make sure you have a microwavable, safe dish. Otherwise, you might explode something. I'm feeling good, like I should. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na, neighborhood. It's Christmas. What am I doing? Jingle bells, jingle bells. All right. So I'm gonna bring this over here, and we're gonna go ahead and melt our white chocolate. And we're just gonna do the same exact thing. And while that's happening, I'm just gonna go ahead and start crushing up some peppermints. I don't really know what to crush this with. Release your inhibitions from your lips. No. Be careful. Don't do what I just did. This is so much fun, guys. I love this. I wish you guys could have seen Evan's face when I started crushing this. Alright, let's go check on our chocolate. And I'm also just gonna give this a nice little stir. Alright. And I'm gonna put this back in there for another 15, 17 seconds, you know? All right, our parchment-lined baking sheet, we're gonna go ahead and pour in our dark chocolate. And we're just gonna get all of that in there. Let that do that. I'm just gonna spread it. And then we're gonna go and pour the white chocolate on top. I'm really excited to make this because this is one of my favorite desserts as a kid. Even now, just like Christmas desserts, it's just so much nostalgia. And so I'm really excited to make this for my friends. I think it's gonna be a nice treat for them. I'm just gonna spread these peppermints. They're not all the way crushed, so I'm gonna take some of the whole ones out. You know, I've actually never made this from scratch, but it's looking great. I usually get it from Godiva because we're bougie. And I think our friends will really like this. This is like a really fun treat. And they're just gonna be so impressed by this. And it's really easy. All you do is get your chocolate, your toppings, and you let it dry. So So that's what we're gonna go do. All right, now we're just gonna go ahead and put this in the freezer for about 15-20 minutes. And that's it, y'all. So now we're gonna do our next dessert, which is a Christmas cheesecake. And to make that, we're gonna use milk and Oreos. Gonna get some cream cheese, 3 eggs, heavy cream, some vanilla, some red velvet cheesecake mix, or red velvet cake mix, sugar, and obviously some more Oreos. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with making our Oreo crust. This is a really fun dessert and I'm so excited. So we're gonna start by taking a fork and putting it in between here, and we're gonna dip our Oreos into the milk. And we're gonna line this all along the dish. For the folks watching at home, I'd love to know who you're making this Oreo cheesecake for, so drop it, comment down below in the comment section. We'd love to interact with you guys, see what you're cooking, getting up to. Ooh, okay. So, if you're making this at home, you'll probably have some gaps in between because that's how circles work. And that's how we have mini Oreos. So we're just gonna get these and do the same exact thing and fill in the gaps for our Oreo crust. I'm so excited. Chestnuts roasting on fire. Jam frosting filling at your nose. All right. Make sure you preheat your oven to 325 so you can cook this cheesecake. All right. So now we're just gonna go ahead and set that aside, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to our cream cheese mixture. And for that, we'll be using 4 blocks of cream cheese. Like, I don't know how much that is. I just know how much to use. It's 4. We're gonna use 3 eggs. Also, this is not a real recipe. I kind of just made it up. Well, I saw something that inspired me, and yeah, I just went for it. I'm ready for it. So, if you ever have an idea for something that you want to make, just go for it. Just do it. I wish I kind of learned a little more baking, like food science growing up, but whatever. They didn't teach it to us in school. I don't know why. It's a flawed system. We're gonna use a cup of sugar because I feel like that's just right. We're gonna use a splash of heavy cream. That was more than a splash. We're gonna go ahead and put in a teaspoon of vanilla. We're gonna mix this bad boy together. All right. All right. So now that we've done that, we're gonna take half of our batter and we're gonna pour it in a separate bowl. And we're gonna pour in our red velvet cake mix. I'm gonna add in a little more heavy cream. that's like kind of pink. I want it to be a little red. Okay, so now we've got that. I think we're good to go ahead and start pouring. So I'm going to start by pouring a cup. All right, and now I'm going to take a cup of this, and I'm just going to pour it like that. All right, and now that we've done that, I think we're good to, we'll take this. Alrighty, and we're gonna put this in the oven for an hour, and it's at 325. Whew. And you're not gonna open the oven until it's ready. Now that we've taken our peppermint bark out of the freezer, all we're gonna do is just break it up into chunks. And be solid, and you're literally just gonna break it. And you can do big, small pieces because, you know, whatever people like. And if you want, you can throw a little bit more of that on there and you're done. So now that we finished that, we can move on to our garlic butter green beans. We're gonna start by taking an onion and we're gonna chop about half a cup. It's a really big knife. Go down to the comments and tell me your favorite way to keep yourself from crying while peeling or cutting an onion. Woo. I don't have any special tips for that. I will always cry. Also don't really know how to cut an onion, so. But we want these to be very finely chopped. That's all I know. That's all I know what to do, okay? It doesn't matter how you cut your onions, just do it however you want. I'm already crying. It's because of the onions, I promise. Not because I'm sentimental about Christmas and spending time with my friends who love me a lot. Oh. All right. So I'm gonna take some butter and garlic and onions, and we're just gonna saute it. Let that melt. And I'm gonna take about just like a clove. Yeah, half a teaspoon. It's one clove. Love to watch that bubble. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that in there. All right, and now I'm just gonna let it saute a little more. Can smell it. All right, so I'm gonna add a cup of chicken broth. And we're gonna bring that to a boil, and once that does that, we're gonna add our green beans and cover our lid and let it simmer for an hour. We'll go ahead and add our green beans. Oops. And stir that. And I'm going to cover it. And I'll bring that to a simmer. And we'll forget about it for an hour. Next up for our holiday lunch, we're gonna make sweet potato souffle. We've got our sweet potatoes cut in chunks. We've got 2 eggs, mini marshmallows, butter, brown sugar, a can of evaporated milk, and cinnamon and butter vanilla. All right, let's get started. First up, we're gonna add some potatoes to a large pot of cold water. And we're gonna add some cold butter. We're gonna throw this on the stove and boil it. And while it's there, we'll might as well add in a little bit of salt. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add our ingredients to a bowl. I'm gonna add a can of evaporated milk, if I can ever open it. There we go. I'm gonna add a half a cup of brown sugar. Packed, gotta pack it. I love brown sugar. It's my favorite sweetener. Oh, sugar! I just spilled that sugar. Woo. It's a good day, y'all. Pour that in there. Honestly, you might throw a little bit more brown sugar because it's my favorite sweetener, like I said. And then we're gonna add some vanilla, about a teaspoon. That much is a teaspoon. And about half a teaspoon of brown sugar. And we're gonna take 2 beaten eggs. We're gonna take 2 eggs, beat them, then put them in there. Give these nice eggs a little beat down. I don't know why it's so fun to beat eggs. but I enjoy it a lot. That feels pretty good. And then we're just gonna pour those bad boys in there. And we're gonna mix this all up. And this is gonna become our sweet potato mixture in just a second. We're gonna add in some potatoes. We're gonna mix it all together until it's smooth and creamy. And we're gonna pour it inside of our greased dish. We're gonna pop it in the oven for about an hour. And I can tell our potatoes are almost ready. Yeah, they're getting nice and tender. Four, three, two, one. I never let it get to 0. Nice. So I'm just gonna leave this here on the side. And I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna pour it out into a colander to drain those potatoes. And you always pour it away from you, if you remember like last time. Perfect. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off because we're done with that. And I'm gonna add these into the mixture. And I'm gonna add the butter. And I'm gonna give it a nice whisking. There we go. I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Didn't think I had enough potatoes. But I did. It turned out super smooth, just like how we want it. And I'm gonna go ahead and grease our pan so that I can add. I'm just gonna take a stick of butter. And I'm just gonna grease this bad boy all along the bottom. And all over the sides. And we're ready to pour in our mixture. And we're gonna go ahead and preheat the oven to 350. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm done for now. All right, and now we're just gonna pull out our cheesecake. And look at this. Whew. Yummy. And we're just gonna let that cool for about 15 minutes or so. I don't know how long. Just gonna let it cool for however long it needs to cool. And now that that's out of the way, we can go ahead and put in our sweet potato casserole. Ooh. And we'll see you in 25 minutes. So in here we have our beef that has been roasting all morning in the slow cooker. And we're gonna pull it out and we're gonna shred it for our French dip paninis. Oh, mama. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut these strings off now. Oh man. Would you look at that? I mean, come on. This just looks amazing. And think about this with that au jus, that nice au jus. Oh. Oh yeah. Look at all that meat. Look at all that meat. All right. Now we're gonna move on to the second half. So now we're gonna pull out our sweet potato casserole. Ooh. Look at that. And we're gonna dress it with marshmallows and almonds. I normally always go with marshmallows, but some of my friends really love almonds, so I'm gonna do half and half. And look at it, that's all you do is just throw it on top. I'll probably do a mixture, like in between, you know? I could do only marshmallows, and almonds, and then just almonds. All right, I'm gonna throw this back into the oven for another 20 minutes. 25 maybe. Let's check on our green beans that are looking so good. They smell really good. Give it a nice little stir. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna let that keep doing its thing. And now, I think it's time that we go ahead and decorate our cake. Let's move this over to the island. All right. Oh, it already looks so good. But here's some fun things that I like to do to spice up our cake. Now this looks great, but here's some fun things I like to do to spice up. We got some Oreos, we got some chocolate, and we got some whipped cream. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start with our whipped cream because it's a nice. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our whipped cream because it's just a good starting off point. We're just gonna go there. Oh, we're running out. There you go, folks. That's probably all we're gonna get. That's tough, but no worries, because we have many more things to decorate our cake with. We've got some chocolate. Now, I personally love chocolate a lot. So we're just gonna do some chocolate shavings. Maybe throw a couple of bars on there. Oh, if I could only open this. If only. So just gonna get this, I don't even know what you call this, a peeler. And you're just gonna shave. Oh. Yeah, that feels great to me. Just shave it. And we love our Oreos in this household, so Gonna pop one in there, pop another in there. Just put that on there. And it's still gonna taste amazing. At the end of the day, it's gonna taste amazing. And that's what we're really here for. And let's just go ahead and put this in the fridge, just so we can keep it nice and chilled. All right, so now I'm just cutting some baguettes for our French dips. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, we're gonna be making some sandwiches, some French dip. We're gonna make some paninis. You can totally make these in a panini like press or whatever, or if you like have something else to press it down in, that'd be super fun and a really great meal, honestly.